everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Last Minute Kickout with myself, Kevin, and my fellow beardy wrestling fans, which is Mr. Pete Titans Green Advocate.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
And below, if you're watching the video, he might be below, but he's currently on top, and that's John Turbo Finley.
Indeed.
Until he Sasha Banks it this weekend.
Is he gonna Sasha Banks it?
We'll find out.
Is he gonna walk out the champion and still put a crappy performance? Oh wait, that's the new Sasha Banks. We have a belt on the line, everybody. It's predictions time yet again for WWE's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, with a card that's very detailed.
There's a lot of people on it for the amount of matches that aren't there.
This is
it's almost like Royal Rumble again.
There isn't a women's chamber match as far as I'm aware, isn't there?
No.
Nope.
No. Oh, okay. So we could have they could still rush another one in there. You never know. They're confused. They've got nothing to do with quite a few people. So hey. But yes, we are here to do the predictions because me and Pete want that nice shiny thing that's next to Turbo.
I mean, we want the nice shiny thing that's next to Turbo. The problem is that we won't have it, even if we win it. It just won't be on that screen.
Yeah, it won't be on my side of the world. You know?
No.
I mean, it'll be on Kev's side of the world. It just won't be at me. If I win it, it's
but the belt's got a restraining order against you.
That's because I held it for so long.
Yes, he did.
Ah,
That's exactly the reason why.
You abused it so badly.
That's
I
why.
didn't abuse it. It was sat there nicely.
God. Anyway, anyone got the card up? Because I haven't.
I do.
I do.
Excellent. We do. Excellent. Pete, give me some. What's the first one up that we're going to go through here?
It's the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. We've got Drew McIntyre, the champion, attempting to retain versus AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Kofi Kingston. Turbo, as reigning champion, you get to do your prediction first.
Well, fair dues. For myself, I can't really see Drew losing the title and then having to win it back at WrestleMania. I have to say that I'm going with Drew. I can't see, either Sheamus or Orton. Definitely not Orton, because I think he needs a program with the Fiend again, obviously, to go into Mania for revengeance. But and I can't see Sheamus either getting the title and be again another transitional champion, because that'll be like twice he's done that. He did it once with Reigns, and then if he does it again with Drew, that'll be a bit sour. So I'm saying Drew.
Kevin?
I'm also saying Drew. Part of me thinks they might do a Jericho Michaels, whatever it was, and like take the belt away, or a Shawn take, whatever the hell it was, and take the belt away from just to give it to Orton for Orton Fiend. But no, I can't see them. I can't see them even. What would be the point of hot-shotting it?
Because they hot shot it to Orton, didn't they? Just so they could break up Drew's reign. So he didn't have the longest title reign.
I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think it's going to matter now. I think it's going to stick with Drew.
So here's my thinking on this entire chamber match. I think Jeff Hardy's going to get beaten down and replaced by Braun Strowman.
Probably. Or Kofi could end up with that position as well.
I think there's a very strong chance that AJ wins it, and we have Drew and Sheamus in a singles match at WrestleMania. I think that's a pretty good option. Randy's going to be against the Fiend, and Kofi is probably going to get jumped by Mustafa Ali. And then Mustafa Ali might take his place. A whole switch around from last year's Elimination Chamber.
We just have every single member of the
ago.
chamber beaten down before they enter. And replaced with somebody else.
Rumors are that Orton's pod might be jury rigged, that Orton gets put on fire while he's in his box. So that would be interesting.
And they get to take the pyro guy back, have they?
Yeah. while I think Drew's probably going to retain, I'm gonna be risky and I'm gonna put money on AJ Styles to win.
Wow. I think out of everything, I mean, it's like AJ Styles wasn't really looked as being.
I think AJ's got a better chance of having the title than anybody else on that list, other than Drew.
Fair dues.
And I think Drew Sheamus as a singles match, as a singles grudge match, is probably more entertaining than Drew Sheamus for the title at Mania. Yeah. Okay, so next on the card is the United States Championship: Bobby Lashley versus Keith Lee versus Riddle. Turbo.
Well,
Riddle.
Oh well, you just chose my choice then. It's like, yeah, Riddle. I feel as though he has been in this program for quite a long time. Lashley hasn't really done much with the belt. And granted, that's always been the case with the U.S. title. It always gets screwed over. Not since John Cena had it before. I feel Riddle, after all he's gone through with this feud and whatnot, it should be him getting the title off of Lashley, and then Lashley can move on to do something different with the Hurt Business, because they're still tag champs, even though that's even worse than the U.S. title. I feel Riddle should get it.
Kevin.
I am gonna go for Roberto Lashley. I just think I just have him stick with it. If you're gonna put it on Riddle, I mean, he's lost so many times. Riddle, I don't quite see how he's realistically still in this damn thing. The last couple of times he's faced Lashley, he's been sent home in just a small envelope with what remains of him. So, just move along. Or have him win it at Mania, but one of the two.
Yeah, I think winning at Mania is probably going to be the better option. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to go with Bobby Lashley. Yeah, I'm going to put it on Roberto. Is big strong man. Up next, we have the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Turbo. Who have you got?
Jeez, I'm always getting first dibs, aren't I?
Because you're reigning and defending.
Didn't we rotate over
No,
last time?
you are reigning and defending.
Okay, fine.
You're being booked strong in this segment, John. Just
I'm gonna say Nia Jax and Sasha Banks will retain, because we've got the
Baszler,
winners of.
I'm guessing.
Sorry.
You said Nia Jax and Sasha Banks.
Oh,
I'll tell you, if you're gonna go for that and you get that right, man, that's gonna be.
if this is an Undisputed Era moment again, where tag person of the opposite team screws over their partner, then fair dues. But no, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler should retain here. They only just got them, and they have the champs, whoever they may be, have a chance. Are going to be facing the winners of the the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Women's Edition from that. So yeah, I feel as though having Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler being that would probably be better thing.
Kevin.
I am going to say we stick with the current champs. Jax Baszler. It is. We don't. If there's a belt or set of belts, specifically set of belts, because it's tag team, that absolutely do not require tag team partners that dislike each other right now. We don't need that for the women's tags. We absolutely do not need that. The rivals the singles titles rivals having the wacky partners tag run. No, the belts don't need that in the slightest. Just have them finally, disintegrate as even remotely pleasant to each other, and then just have them all go out and basically have the ref throw the bloody match out, and Nia and Baze not have to do pretty much anything.
I think you're forgetting about one simple premise: her hole.
Really,
I think Jax and Baszler are going to keep it because, as John said, they're going to go defend it against NXT, which is when I think they'll lose them, because I think having the women's tag team belts on NXT women and having them appear on the 3 brands to defend is better promotional aspect to get them in the limelight.
It's what worked really well with the
Owens.
Golden Role Models.
That too. Yep.
Sasha and Bailey, when they were just going around all of them.
Even though they didn't defend them on NXT TV, sadly, but
did they not defend them? I thought
no.
they
appeared, but they never
appeared, but never defended them.
Anyway,
wanted to.
So the Elimination Chamber match for the Blue Universal Championship, we have the 6 men of Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Daniel Bryan. The winner of this match faces Roman Reigns in a separate match afterwards for the Universal Championship.
As much as I would think that the storyline would just continue with Kevin Owens and just have him win this match and then he gets beaten by Reigns afterwards, there's a lot of fire going on with Cesaro as well. So should I just go with the predictable way or just the hopeful? You know what? No, I'm just gonna go with how the storyline's going. Kevin Owens will somehow win the chamber match, and then he loses to Reigns afterwards.
Turbo. You might be right. Kevin.
It's time.
Are you putting Sami Zayn to win?
It's time. Pull the trigger.
They're putting the trigger on Sami Zayn.
It would be nice, but
it won't happen.
It would be nice. There are many people in this particular one that I wouldn't mind winning it. But I think it's time. Let's go with Cesaro. It's time for Cesaro Kofi Mania, but with a different result.
The annoying thing is that I know that if there wasn't a live audience there, they would absolutely be behind Cesaro right now.
There's only so many times they could ask the entire locker room who's the most underrated wrestler, and everyone answers Cesaro.
Did you see the interview that Daniel Bryan did on Talking Smack recently, where he was just like, he turned around to them and said, "Do you know who's been the most consistent wrestler of the past 5 years?" or something like that, and they were like, "Yes," and he pointed to Cesaro, and he said, "Do you know who's had the most matches in?"
Yeah,
Cesaro.
Cesaro's the answer to freaking everything.
which is funny, being that he was injured and put on the shelf for a wee while as well. So it's good that
he had the teeth thing that he dealt with and wrestled through. It's just like, ugh. Anyway, no, it's going to be Cesaro. It's going to be Cesaro, and we're going to start a program. We're going to start a push. It'll go nowhere, but wait for it.
It's
coming
too
later.
It's too early to do the Jey Uso thing, and I don't think we're going to see Kevin Owens Reigns for a 4th time, even though it's going to be a squash. I agree. I think it's going to be Cesaro O'Brien. Fuck. It has to.
I know it's hard. It's a hard decision because that's how I was like. But I'm thinking I think they're going to work with the current program that's still on. Kevin thinks that they want to put in fresh blood and put the Rocket onto the Cesaro finally.
Let's be fair. If anybody's going to get squashed and not get harmed from it, it's going to be Corbin. Let's be fair here.
But he's also the heel. Why would you put heel versus heel?
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
Why would it matter when he's going to get squashed after a spear and a punch?
Doesn't matter. But you make a good point about Bryan though. Because Brian, we know Brian's gonna go into part-time. This is like his last full go-around. There's a sympathetic side which says you put Brian in and make Brian and give him a proper WrestleMania main event.
I'm gonna go with Cesaro because, yeah. No, I'm going Cesaro too. Which brings us on to Roman Reigns versus the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match winner. Turbo.
Reigns.
Kevin.
Reigns, but
No buts.
No,
Don't
Reigns,
put caveats
Reigns,
on this.
but he gets a big old scare.
From Edge, yeah, absolutely.
No, not from Edge. Not from Edge. From Cesaro. Cesaro comes this freaking close. Which then allows him to go on to say, well, I almost got you and I was in an Elimination Chamber match immediately before it. So then we start something with those two. And then we suddenly get Cesaro involved in stuff. At least for the next pay-per-view.
It's absolutely going to be Reigns.
Yeah.
Because then it's going to be Reigns Edge at Mania. So they've pretty much forecast that after SmackDown this week.
I told you.
We all told you.
And Spear versus Spear is still a shit tagline.
But it's the most marketable one they have.
Yeah, but Roman Reigns does a much better spear than Edge does.
But it's the most marketable one they have. And yes, I think that might be slightly Edge protecting himself, actually. But
it could be, but still. Anyway, that's the end. That's it. 5 matches. With, I assume, the Tag Team Championship match being on the pre-show.
There probably might be one. Who knows?
Will there even be a pre-show at this point?
Oh yeah, it'll be an hour long.
Elimination. Each Elimination Chamber match is going to be 100 years long.
Yes.
90 of those will be doing the swing.
That's the end of the predictions, guys. Keep an eye on the socials and the YouTube channel and the podcast and the website to see if Mr. Turbo has that big gold belt in a week.
Fair dues. But
at the end of the day, that's all that matters. I want it back.
You're so adamant.
Look, if I don't get it back now, and I don't get it back at Fastlane, then I'll get it back at Mania again, and then I'll just hold it for half a year.
You're not the only one who has a strong showing at WrestleMania, Pete.
Have you won a WrestleMania yet?
Yes, I won the first one.
You won the first one.
I won the first. I am your inaugural WrestleMania LMKO champion. And don't you dare forget it.
Mr.
I did
WrestleMania
forget
there.
it. How many WrestleManias have we done now?
Too many.
3? 4?
Yeah. Well,
4, 5.
3 because we've all each one.
Wasn't the first one that really long 7-hour stint?
Oh my god, the first one was basically a small prison sentence for us all.
Because I remember we all tried to record that as a thing. Yeah. Anyway, this is shit talk, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time for a roundup of WWE Elimination Chamber 2021.
See you then.